could have everyone's undivided attention for a few minutes. So I realize that we are nowhere near getting to the interesting part of this lab. So that's okay. And we'll give it another day next Tuesday. There's no sense in rushing it. So just before I forget, you're going to have to bring in some paper and pencil on Tuesday for that part that no one got to today. The other thing I just want to say, could you please make it a habit to go to the schedule page before each class and see what news there might be. Like the exciting news that I was hoping everyone was seeing is that bug that I had in Lab 1. And so when you see something like that, you just need to go to your code and fix it up, or at least make a mental note to do it once the lab starts. So go to the schedule page before every class to see whether there's any news. You don't like to do that, you can sign up for a service that sends you an email, whenever that page changes. So there's plenty of those. I gave one example, and that might also help you out. All right, so now going in here, there were a few people who said, gosh, the program saved the changes in the address book, and then the address book was empty afterwards. And that is exactly this bug. Here's what happened. If you look at the code in ArrayList address book for saving, you see here where it says system.out.println. So it makes a print writer where it's supposed to save the stuff to. As you'll learn that in a couple of lectures, what a print writer is just a way to save something to a file. So we're making a print writer for the source file. And then I'm completely ignoring out. Out is a local variable, and I'm writing to system.out. There's a word for behavior like that. It's stupidity. So I was just stupidly typing system.out because I always type system.out. And so one needs to take that out. So now the code will work correctly. So be sure to do that in your own program. So now let's push this a little bit along to answer a couple of questions that people had. So it asked, so running the program. So it says we're supposed to be adding this here to ArrayList address book. And so now we're getting an error. Let me show you which error you're going to be getting. And so when you mouse over this collections thing, it says it doesn't know what collections is. And so now you need to be a little bit careful how you get code completion. You put the cursor right after the word that it's confused about, and then you hit Control Space. And now you get two choices. Choice number 1, collections in java.util. Choice number 2, collections in com.sun.xml.internal.ws.policy.privateutil.policyutils. Which of the two do you think is the right one? So let's hope it's Java util, right? And not some internal thing. All right, now that error went away. But now another error manifests itself that's more worrisome. So collections is getting what? It's getting an array of an array list of items, and so the min, you would like it to be what? What's the min of an array list of items? What type is it? Is it a string? Is it a collection? Is it an item? Is it a comparable? Well, we kind of want it to be an item, of course, but as it is, it's just a comparable. We had that same problem when we implemented the smallest by hand, right? That we didn't know inside that method what it was. And so here we have the same problem. Let's see if the error message confirms that. The error message says, no, the error message says get first is already defined. Never mind. And now it goes away. Forget what I just said. So collections.min works fine. All right. So we fixed this with control space.
What would be the error if items is underlined?
If items is underlined, I don't know. You have to mouse over it and see what happens. All right. Let's. Oh, I see. I know what the error is because I'm sorry. My code is too advanced. Let me unadvance my code. Sorry about that. I know exactly what your question is now. So at this point here, items is underlined. I think this is where you guys are at now. So now collections complains, or collections.min complains about items, and let's see what it complains. It says, no suitable method found for min Java util ArrayList item. And it has two choices. It has a min that takes a question mark, extends comparable. And so unfortunately, these error messages are a little hard to understand because it uses a part of Java that you won't learn for another semester called generic classes. And so you kind of have to grasp at the error message and try to make the most of it. And here, we're trying to get the smallest of items. And how would it know which one is the smallest? What does it even mean to be the smallest item? Lowest phone number? Lowest name? Lowest key? What if you have two names with different items, like one email, one phone number? Which should come first? There's no way for it to know. We have to tell it. But its immediate complaint is that items is not comparable. So that's why it asks you to go into item and then implement comparable. We're not using the brackets. So I'm making it implement comparable. And I get another error. What the heck? Why am I getting an error now? So I am implementing comparable. By implementing comparable, I solemnly swear that I shall provide a comparator method, which I haven't done. So how do I provide a comparator method? Exactly. Thank you. Control space, comparator, and here it is, and I'm done. What would actually happen now if I, let's try, this is not a part of what the lab was, but let's put this in here in the demo. Come on, demo. So I'm going to load the thing. I'm going to print out book dot get first. Oops. I get another error. Why am I getting an error now? I just added the get first method to. Why does it say the error is cannot find symbol get first? I just defined get first. You don't believe I just defined it? It is right here. Get first. Why doesn't it know but get first? Yes. Aha! Book is not declared as an ArrayList address book. Book is an address book. So what's my remedy? There's two things that I could do. I could just nix the concept of interfaces and make this an ArrayList address book. But the better thing to do is to go into address book and add it as a method. To say that getFirst is a service that every address book should provide. And now in the demo, it'll work fine. All right, so now I'm going to run this program. I'm going to pick, oh my goodness, data chi webcom sjsu spring 2012 46b lab 1. Here it is, depter.txt. And so I selected that file name with that file chooser, and now it says unsupported operation exception. Why? Well, imagine you're the getFirst method. What do? You take that array of items and you give it to collections.min. Now imagine your collections.min. What do you do to find out the minimum? You take the first item. You compare it against the second item. How do you compare? With comparator. And what does comparator do? Worse than nothing. It doesn't do nothing. What does it do? It throws an unsupported operation exception which kills the program. Right? So that's what happened. And so next time we're going to have to fill in what comparator actually should be doing. I saw some of you got started with that. Did anyone finish this? Show of hands, anyone who finished the implementation of this comparator? All right, so we have a couple of people who did that.
Where do you have your comparator?